Now, the first critical thinking error that's at play along the way here, this one I call the queen mother of all critical thinking errors. This one is present in all unethical behavior. And anybody with teenagers is going to totally identify with this word. It's called entitlement. What does entitlement mean? Essentially, it's a feeling that the world owes us something, somebody owes us something, or we deserve something. Now, why do we deserve something? Pretty much because we're us, and that's good enough for us. We're all that. Doesn't mean we've earned it, it just means we deserve it. This must be the evolution of my career, the next step in the corporate ladder of success. But I always tell the college kids, as you climb your corporate ladder of success, make sure that ladder leans against the right building. Mine leaned against a dollar bill, always went with the flow, let circumstances dictate where I was going. Second critical thinking error was at play here. Super optimism. What is super optimism? Essentially, it's a feeling that I can do no wrong, there's no downside to anything I do, I'm smarter than everybody else, I'm above the law, it's full speed ahead. Anything I choose to do, I'm going to be great at. You can combine entitlement and super optimism into one snappy word called arrogance. Pure arrogance. You know anybody that's arrogant? Point them out. No. Have you ever made a decision in your life you wish you could take back? The first step in the slippery slope of unethical behavior, I identify that as a seemingly unimportant decision. We don't put a lot of stock in it. We don't weigh it out. We don't talk to mentors. We don't lose sleep over it. We just make that call and we move forward. Next thing you know, we're in a situation where an ethical dilemma occurs. I made a mistake. Should I step forward and admit it? Or could I just make it go away? Guys in prison, I would ask them all the time, did you just go off and do something insane or whatever you did that got you in here? Was it just a one-day leap? No, it was a series of compromises that they made along the way, a series of checks and balances. They slowly but surely compromised their ethics, got used to the idea, and continued on down the path to the point where they were accelerating down the slippery slope of unethical behavior at such a speed that they couldn't put the brakes on anymore. I made over $400,000 that week. I have to adjust this. I have to come up with some type of brilliant rationalization. What did I do? I thought, self, you're not a greedy person. Be real. You're not a greedy person. You didn't expect to make $400,000 a week on this thing. That's crazy. In fact, from now on, if it takes every other week, I'm okay with that. Have you thought about what you would do?
Here's a partial list of clients that have benefited from Patrick's experience and insights, including such diverse groups as business, national and international professional associations, law enforcement agencies, and major universities.
I didn't know what I was doing, but I didn't want her to challenge me. Because I knew I was up to no good, but I didn't want to come clean in my own head. And when we start to compound and compile and make it more and more confusing, and you as auditors know that, you start digging through it, and we try to make it even more confusing for you, all we're doing is demonstrating that we really are up to no good. If you can't keep it simple, there's a reason for that. In the Josephson study of high school kids, they said, why do you guys cheat? You know what the answer was? Everybody else is doing it. For me to remain competitive, I have to do it as well. My parents are putting pressure on me. I want a scholarship. I want to go to a good school. And if I'm competing with people and that's the level they're competing at, then I'm going to have to do the same thing. The next morning, my boys woke up in a country they'd never heard of, a language they've never spoken, in a school where they knew no one. Who are the real victims of our unethical behavior? All of our loved ones. Everybody in prison said that after the fact. If you mess up, admit it, fess up, and move forward and share the message. That's what I get. There's one statement that can summarize this entire talk and my experiences in life, and it's this: income does not define wealth. And I started giving talks. I had 208 hours community service. Wherever two or more were gathered that could sign that form, I was your guy. I have no idea what I said. But a funny thing happened. I knocked out my community service. I was working hard driving a truck. And I realized this is my passion. This is what I was meant to do. All the things that had happened to me, I have a lot to share. And that's what I'm going to make my career doing. I'm going to follow and pursue my passion. The first half of my life, my passion was money. And I see where that got me. The second half of my life, I want that to be part of the narrative. I have no choice, but I don't want it to be the definition. If you don't remember anything else I share with you today, please remember this. If you get 5 knocks on your door, it's the FBI.